Hi everybody, good evening and welcome back to another episode with me, Tanisha, and the House of Medics. Hope everybody has been well. So today I have Dr. Oluwasemilore. That was right?
Yeah,
Dr.
it was,
Oluwasemilore.
yeah, got it.
I've got Dr. Oluwasemilore with me. Say hello to the people.
Hi everyone, hi, my name is Oluwasemilore. I'm still getting used to the doctor part, but yeah, hi, nice to meet you all.
So thank you for joining us today. So we're going to deep dive into exactly what Dr. Oluwasemilore does, and today is called Beyond Medicine. If you do have any questions at all, please make sure you are commenting on the stream and asking us as we go along. So, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Thank you for coming. So, you are a doctor, junior doctor,
Yes.
trying to become a doctor. Talk to me about exactly what it is you're up to.
Yeah, so I'm a doctor now. So I did 6 years of medical school.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I took a year out after my 4th year to do a master's. I did a master's in trauma science.
Trauma science. Okay,
Yeah.
wait. So I'll tell you. So I'm not a medic. I don't know anything to do with medicine. I work in like the TV and film and media industry. So I will ask you to deep dive into certain questions.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
I don't know. And some people watching don't know as well.
Yeah.
So I'll say what I think trauma is.
Yeah.
Is that when you like proper break your leg?
Yes, yeah.
And your like eye comes out of the socket.
Yeah, no, that's like good because usually a lot of people they think of like mental trauma when I say trauma.
I'm with the House of Medics. I need to know
definitely,
some things, you know?
definitely. So a lot of people think of like PTSD and stuff like that, but
so it's trauma to the actual
body.
body.
Trauma to the body. Yeah. So I'm sort of interested in that line, so I wanted to deep dive into it, like I'm talking about here. But I wanted to get into a bit more detail, and it was really fun.
Yeah, so you studied that for your masters?
Yes, yeah.
Why trauma stuff though?
Because at the moment I'm sort of interested in like trauma and orthopedics.
Orthopedics.
So like that's like bones, the hip replacements.
Okay, I was gonna say peds, but that's
like little children. Yeah.
Okay. So are you the first medic in your family?
Yes, I am actually.
You are?
Yeah, I'm not going to be the last.
Okay.
Thank God. So my sister after me, so she's also a she's a medical student.
Okay, nice.
So she's getting to her final year.
How old are you?
Guess number 1.
Oh gosh. This is usually what women say. So I don't want to offend. I don't know what to.
No. If you go too low, if you go too high, it's fine.
If you study for 6 years, how many was your masters?
No, just 1 year. Yeah.
I think you're 26.
No, not that
Younger?
old. Yeah.
You said you're not that old. 26 is not old.
I mean, it's not old, but I'm not that
You're
old.
younger?
Yeah,
How
I'm
old are
younger.
you?
I'm 24.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So
I'm 25 in like 2 months.
Oh, that's crazy. So when did you start your actual studies into medicine? Was it in school when you done like science?
Yeah. So I don't know. It depends. What way do you mean? When did I start getting interested in medicine?
Yeah. So your interest in medicine. Did you know when you were really, really young that you wanted to do medicine, or when?
No, I didn't actually. I didn't actually want to do anything to do with medicine until quite later. So my younger sister, the one that does medicine now, she always wanted to be a doctor.
So you stole her idea?
No, that's what she'll say. But I always say I came to it by myself. So I didn't fall into it, but I sort of. It was like, you know, when something is meant for you and life just works in that way to give you the opportunities to meet the right people. You know, as I mentioned, I'm not the first, I'm the first medic in my family. Yeah. So even getting to the journey and trying to find resources, trying to find people. So I didn't go to like private school or anything either. I went to a normal state school. Yeah. So trying to navigate all that to get to the position that I am, to even apply to medical school was a bit of a journey.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you need to do that, you need to actually apply. But talk to us about how you actually like started. Was it in school? You kind of piqued your interest then? What was the journey into?
Yeah, no, I'll say definitely in school. But I always, I used to be really competitive as well. I'll still say I am, but I used to be way more competitive then. So I just wanted to do basically what would be the hardest thing to do.
Is that what you thought?
Yeah, like what would be the hardest, but also what would also be able to impact the most amount of people as well, and really, you know, change things for the better.
But this was in school, you were having these
Yeah. This was
you wanted
in school.
to pick something that was hard to do and something that would impact other people for the better.
Yeah, something that was competitive. Yeah, but my mindset has changed a lot now, and even in regards to what medicine is, I don't necessarily think it's the hardest thing to do, and even I don't necessarily think it also impacts the largest amount of people at one time. It impacts one person at one particular time, or multiple people over the course of your career. But if I wanted to impact lots of people, I think I would want to get into like something to do with public health or management. I think consultancy, I think those are really where large scale impacts are had. Yeah.
Okay. So after school,
Yeah.
when you were doing like the science and stuff,
Yeah.
what was the next stage that kind of made you think, okay, I definitely want to do medicine?
Yeah, so for me, after school, it was just experiences I had in just
It's secondary school, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then it's like uni or college.
So A levels.
A-levels,
So
okay.
yeah, so I did A levels.
What were your A levels in?
So I did AS and A levels. So in AS, I did maths, chemistry, biology, and physics.
Okay.
And then for A levels, I dropped physics. So I only did 3. Yeah.
So were any of those contributing factors to you becoming a doctor?
I found
like the science or biology?
I found sciences really interesting, especially biology. I found it really, really interesting. I preferred chemistry, but I found biology really, really interesting. I found how intricate the body was. But I'll probably say PE was actually one of the big, if we're talking about subjects-wise, one of the major determinants, because for PE, I did PE
Really?
at GCSE. Yeah.
Okay.
So for PE...
Actually, I done PGCSE and I dropped it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, no, it's tough. Like, that's what people think.
That exam.
Yeah,
do you remember
yeah,
the exam? It was a booklet.
Yeah. So
I think I did 1 page and then left.
yeah, so that's the thing. I actually found PE theory a lot harder than even biology. I thought biology was really easy at GCSE compared to PE theory, because they require you to know the muscles and all those types of things. Well, yeah, and you actually go in depth into the movements and stuff. And I think that's also why I'm quite interested in orthopedics.
Okay.
Because I've always been interested in PE, like just movement essentially. And I sort of still have that interest now.
Yeah, okay.
But I'll say even like learning about how the body actually moves, that really started to get me thinking into how does this relate to medicine and even beyond that as well.
Got you. Okay,
Yeah.
so after your PE phase,
Yeah.
you then went on to doing your A levels
Yeah.
and AS, you said, and then
Yeah.
after that, is that when you applied for medical school?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
which are you allowed to say?
Yeah.
Where did
I'm
you
not
go?
bound. So I went to the University of Birmingham Medical
Okay.
School.
Oh, that's where
Yeah.
the accent comes from.
Oh, I do have a
You've
Birmingham
got a bit
accent.
of a up
Oh,
north
really?
accent.
No, well,
Yeah,
I grew up in Leicester, so
Oh, okay.
that's probably why, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So talk to me about your 6 years at
Yeah.
medical school.
No, it was
How
great.
was it? And
It was great.
did you move from London to Birmingham?
So I'm not from London. So
you're from Leicester?
Yeah, I'm from Leicester, yeah.
Is Leicester near Birmingham?
No, Leicester, yeah, sort of. It's like,
It's kind of, isn't it?
Leicester's East Midlands, Birmingham is West Midlands, yeah.
Okay, got you. So how was the transition from Leicester to
Yeah,
Birmingham?
it was great. It was great. My family were always close by anyway. Even though I didn't really go too many times, but
You wanted to have your own space and
like it was nice knowing they were there. I think it wasn't too difficult. My parents like taught us to be quite independent. So
do you remember your first day at medical school?
Yeah, I do.
Do you
Yeah,
remember? How was
yeah.
it? Tell us
Yeah,
about
it was good. It was really
Scary?
good. It was interesting. I was the only person from my school at the time that went to Birmingham.
Oh, so you didn't know anyone?
I
It was
didn't know
like a
anyone.
Fresh new
Yeah, I
start.
didn't know anyone. So it was a thing of you had to be comfortable being
by yourself.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So I didn't know anyone. Like I didn't have anything. But it was really good. It was quite easy to make friends. It was quite a lot of people were in the same boat. I was still getting used to people as well. So, and I think people like it when you smile. So that made things a lot easier as well. And and I think throughout the journey I've made some really good friends for life.
Do you remember? Do you go freshers fair?
Yeah.
Was
I
there
did,
anything to do with medicine and doctors at your freshers fair?
Yeah. So
Is that how you made friends?
No, I mean, a bit, yeah, but our med school was quite big. So we have like a medical school society. So we had 2 freshers fairs. So
Really?
like the general one for everybody
Medical
else.
school society.
And then we had like a med soc, that's what we called it. We had a med soc specific freshers fair, which was just like purely
Wait,
medical
sorry
school
for
stuff.
being very.
No, it's all right.
So, the uni you went to was just medicine.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't just medicine.
Like the medical school we had was a bit secluded from everybody else. So
there
it
was
was
a
like-
mixed uni,
Yes, it
but
was a
you were
mixed
in like
uni.
a separate
Yeah,
part.
bubble, yeah.
That's not fair though.
Pros and cons. So
that's
you
not
have to go
fair.
out of your way to be like
Amongst
be with
the-
everybody
yeah,
else.
yeah.
And especially because I didn't really know everybody else as well. I had to really go out of my way to do that. And the key way I did that was being a part of other societies, not just medical societies. So
Awesome.
we can talk a bit more about that if you like. But yeah, I really.
So what was your best experience of medical school?
Best experience of medical school. I have quite a few. Can I say my top two?
We've got a lot of time.
Okay, great.
You're good. Go ahead.
Hello, actually, let me say my top three then. So probably say my top three. They're all in the same phase, but one of them would have been winning the University Gospel Choir of the Year competition.
So you sing?
Well, I play instruments,
Right there.
I sing a bit.
Stop. Right there. Make a noise if you want to hear Doc sing.
No one's gonna make a noise. No one's gonna make a noise. I can't sing.
You just said that you won.
No, I was.
I'm so sorry, but I have to do this.
I can't.
You know you have to sing.
No, I'm not singing.
Get your water,
I'm an
whatever it is you
instrumentalist.
need. Then, oh.
I'm an instrumentalist. So I play instruments.
Ah, man, that's so sad. No, I'm joking.
No.
That's amazing. What instrument do you play?
Thank you. So I grew up playing drums.
Okay.
But now I mainly play keys and I play a bit of guitar.
I was gonna make
well.
you sing, man. You're so lucky. Okay, so you were part of a choir, but you were the band. Choir.
So that year I was the band director, actually. So I was in charge of all the instrumentalists.
You sure you can't sing?
A bit.
See what I mean? Sing. Do you want to sing something for the people? You do. You do.
This is about medicine.
That is so funny. You want to sing, isn't it?
No, this is about medicine. This
is about you. This is your platform.
It's about medicine.
This is about you.
It's about medicine.
We're here to make you look good.
If people want to see me sing, I do have a music.
I believe he can sing.
Okay, if you want to see me sing, I have a music. I have a music Instagram, so they can go.
You have a music Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the music Instagram?
It's my name, Shemilore. So S for sugar, E for echo, M for Mike, I for indigo, L for lorry.
Unbelievable. So you are a medic and a singer.
Underscore M.
Sorry, say that again.
So it's just my name, Shemilore _M.
Okay, cool.
So people can see that there.
You vote in the comments if you want to hear Dr. Shemilore sing.
If you want to hear me sing, you can go to the Instagram and you can see me sing over there.
I think we're gonna.
Maybe later. Yeah.
See, we want to hear you. The people want to hear you.
It's over Zoom. The sound doesn't carry well.
This is not Zoom. This
it's
is live and
YouTube,
direct.
Sorry.
Good camera, good microphones that we have. You're gonna sound amazing.
To be fair.
But we'll get there. Dr. Ashton House of Bliss exclusive. Okay, that's amazing. So congratulations on your win and your other top three moments.
The other top three moments, probably the other one was being a part of the Commonwealth teams.
The what, sorry?
Commonwealth Games, medics.
Commonwealth?
Yeah, okay. Commonwealth Games medics team. So I think it was last year they did the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, and I was very privileged to be a part of one of the.
Sorry.
So the Commonwealth Games, they have all the people from the Commonwealth, so Commonwealth countries, they'll come to the UK or different countries and they'll compete. So in like big athletics competition. So they did it in Birmingham last year, and it was great. I was one of the medics in the stands, so spectator. So just looking around, see if anyone had any issues, taking care of them. But it was perfect.
Okay. Yeah. So you were a medic on site, helping anyone that got injured. Like not a sports therapist. What's it called?
Basically like a sports doctor, but it wasn't like a sports doctor. It was more in the stands.
Did anything happen? Did you have to help anyone?
Yeah.
Like people were really drunk. And
no, it wasn't that actually.
What happened? Tell us some stories.
This one was probably the most interesting one. So there was just a gentleman. He had a history of a heart attack previously in the past. And he didn't take his medication for some reason.
Great.
And the stands were high. So it was ridiculous. So it was athletics. The athletics was going on at the time. His chest started hurting, and he was on quite a high stand as well. So I was with a paramedic. She was with me as well. So somebody alerted us to the patient, to the gentleman that he had an issue. So we quickly had to run up, and we were going upstairs. So there was a lot of cardio.
You enjoyed it, didn't you?
I loved it. It was good exercise. It got the heart pumping.
Is the guy alive?
No, he is. So we liaised with the ambulance service quite quickly.
But what did you guys do to him? So you got to him at the top of the stand?
So usually in medicine, when there's somebody going through an issue, we do something called the ATE. So
A-T-E?
A to E.
A to E?
Yeah, so it's like
Okay.
A, B, C, D, E.
E. Mm-hmm.
So like A stands for airways, B stands for breathing.
So what did you do?
So we basically did that, just checked if it was okay.
So you checked his airways?
Yeah, so we just simply check the airways. Hi, are you okay? If they respond to you, then that means their airways is functioning, they can speak. And then we just went through that.
Can you talk me through exactly what you did?
Yeah. So in that instance, we talked to the gentleman, asked him if he was okay.
Yeah.
He was complaining of chest pain, found out what the issue was. Because he had a history, he was with his wife, because he had a history of heart attack, we immediately talked to the paramedics. So we had ambulance on site.
Oh, okay. So you didn't take him out, you just spoke to the paramedics?
Yeah, so we spoke to the paramedics straight away. But then the issue was, because it was quite high, the paramedics couldn't really get up that quickly. So I had to help with the transport of the man down with some paramedics, with some paramedics, because it was also a bit tight as well. But when we got into the ground level, then we transferred him over to the paramedic team and they took him to the hospital. I love
how you speak about him like he's like a project or like...
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. But I think to some extent in healthcare, you have to do that a bit so you don't get too attached.
See, that would be my problem. Yeah, that would be my problem. Okay, that sounds really, really fun. And your third? You said you had 3.
Oh, yes. So my third one is actually currently still going. So I'm with organization called TAMS, so the Aspiring Medic Support.
Okay, nice.
TAMS, TAMS, and we help, basically people get into medicine. So currently I'm the director of a subsection of that program called the Scholars Cohort, and this is providing a year-long specific mentorship program for first-year medical students. We aim to offer them financial support.
Love that.
We aim to offer them like resources, teaching, and we also have sponsors as well. So
is this a free?
It's free. Yeah, it's free. So if anybody's interested in applying in first year of medical school,
loads of medics, loads of students, loads of aspiring medics as well. So that's really good. Yeah. So if you can just go on just type in TAMS or the Aspiring Medic Support, you should be able to find some more information regarding that. That's amazing. Yeah. Lovely. So we've spoke about the good and the funny, and I haven't forgotten about the singing, by the way. And I'm not going to forget. I'm just letting you know that I'm not going to forget that. We're going to go there. Okay. Talk to us about some of your worst experiences
in medical school.
During medical school.
Yeah. No, I would say.
Did you have to do placement, by the way?
Yeah. So from 3rd year onwards, you do placement. Yeah. So
this is how you know I've done a lot of these, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's good. The questions are very focused. Yeah, like amazing. So I'll say, in terms of worst experiences, medical school isn't easy. That's what I'm going to say.
Do you know, I've never had anyone sit here and say it's easy. That's the truth. No one has ever said it's easy.
Yeah.
I know we are TAMS, yeah. Is that?
Yes, that's it. That's the Instagram. We'll put that up. Thank you so much. That's the Instagram. If they want to follow it, we are TAMS. So it's similar to we are House of Medics, but but we didn't steal that. I don't know who came first, but
you're good. You're good. Sorry, carry on your worst experiences.
So medical school, especially when you're the first one in the family, it can be a bit difficult because there's not always somebody to talk to about medical school. Even the bits behind the scenes, not necessarily the academic, but just the extra bits like having a tough day in placement. I'm so grateful for my parents and for my family.
Shout out to mum and dad.
Yeah, shout out mum and dad. Shout out to my sisters as well. Shout out to my friends, everybody out there. But going through the process, you can talk to them, but again, there are certain things or there are certain levels you won't be able to go to because you know, if you're not part of it, you wouldn't really know.
You wouldn't get it.
Yeah, which is why having a good support network in terms of friends. That's Dr. Jacob. He's the big head of the TAMS.
Hi, Dr. Jacob.
So no, he's quite good. But yeah, in terms of medical school itself, there were some very deep moments that they might not necessarily be able to understand to the full extent. So I'll say those were some of the tougher parts. But
so how did you navigate that? How did you kind of make sure mentally you were okay.
Yeah.
Who did you speak to? What did you do?
Yeah, so again, because my parents were there and I also have a good support network, good friends, I could still talk to them. Obviously, I couldn't go into everything, but I could still talk to them. And I also have medic friends as well, so people who literally from first day of medical school, they've been with me.
It.
Yeah, they get it. They get it, and I'm happy to say we're still friends now. We're still going on, and hopefully we'll be friends for life. But yeah, so there are guys and girls as well that you know, we talk together, talk about the process, talk about bits we find difficult and things we have found difficult. When we find exams difficult, we talk to each other. Even the bits before exams, we talk to each other as well. So I'll say, in terms of which parts of medical school that I find difficult, I'll say all of it is hard.
Yes.
But just the varying degrees, and that's where your support network really comes in handy. And
what would you say is the importance of making sure you have a support network? And if people don't have that, how would you say they can get one?
It's vital.
Build one.
Yeah, no, I'll say it's vital. Honestly, it's life-changing. For me, it was particularly life-changing. I was very grateful that I had a support network going into medical school. But medical school really helps you form a better one, or well, not better, a bigger one. In a weird way, it's sort of like trauma bonding, because you go through so many traumatic and tough moments that it brings you closer to a lot of people, like in ways you never even expected. So, and that's definitely why I'll say is important. In terms of how to build one, I'm just going to talk about the way I did it, just talking to as many people as I could. Again, like I mentioned, because I didn't really know people, I had to put myself out there. So I would always be the first person to talk to people, or to say hi to people, or to even find out what people's interests were, to go out of my way in that way. And I like to think I'm an alright person as well, so they did the same, so it really helped.
Amazing. Lovely, thank you. So please continue to send your questions in, we will answer them. We're going to go over to a very quick and short video break, and I'll be back with Doctor very shortly. Hi everybody, and welcome back to part 2 live with Dr. Oluwasemilore. We have been having a conversation just about his life and how he has become a doctor. So if you haven't been following, you're gonna have to rewind, because some really good points and nuggets here. So Doc, we're gonna continue to deep dive.
Yeah.
So where are you at now?
Yes. So
What's happening with you now?
So now I've started working as a doctor, thank God.
Okay.
So I'm in my foundation year 1, which is our first year.
First year?
Yeah,
Okay.
of
when did you
doctor
graduate?
work. So I graduated not too long ago, actually. Literally, we're in August now. So I graduated in July.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you had any traumatic experiences?
Not yet, actually. So currently my first rotation is on psychiatry. So I'm in child and adolescent mental health.
Oh wow.
So.
Oh, you don't get to pick where you go first, do you? Or you do?
Mine was weird. So I sort of did, because I'm doing something called like a specialized or academic foundation program.
Right.
So it's a different pathway for medicine compared to the normal foundation program.
Okay.
So I sort of had a bit more of a say. So I got to choose specifically what sort of programs I wanted to do that fit with like my future goals, aspirations. Yeah.
Okay, lovely. We're gonna get into your future goals as well. So tell me about your first day Do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you have to wear the scrubs?
No, because mine was outpatient.
You know we've got house of edit scrubs.
Yeah. I do
you?
know.
Have you got some?
Oh no, I don't have some yet.
have
But
some?
if I was gifted some, that would be
Gifted?
amazing. Yeah.
Maybe we'll give you 10% off.
Yeah, that'd be great if I can have my own like personalized code.
That would be really cool, actually.
Like those influencers.
With your name on it.
Yeah, and I can put it on Instagram.
Okay,
and
we'll
stuff
talk to Dr. Emma. And we'll see
yeah,
what we can do
that
for
would be
you.
really helpful. Yeah,
Okay, we'll
that
see
would
what
be
we
great.
can do for you. But yeah, tell me about your first day.
Yeah, so my first day was good actually. People were really supportive. I think that's the most important thing. It really doesn't matter how hard the job itself is, but if the people you're around are really helpful, really supportive, it makes it a lot easier. And that was what I had. Everybody was really friendly, really nice, really made the effort to learn a bit more about who I was as well. And we'd already had induction beforehand as well, so we had like a week of shadowing before the actual first day began.
So on the first day, were you kind of left by yourself to just...
No. So it's not as scary as most people think it is, especially, well, the trust I'm at, where my area, like people were really nice and they are very clear, I describe it, they're very clear levels of, okay, you can go to this person, you can go to that person for help. And as weird as it sounded, for mine, I was actually the only doctor on my first day. Because with psych, a lot of it is run by, or psychiatry, a lot of it is run by clinical psychologists, social workers, especially with like children.
Can you remind me of what a clinical psychologist is? Is this someone who works in the hospital, right, like day to day?
Yeah, not always, but yeah.
I think I'm thinking of a community doctor. Ignore me.
Oh, no worries. But briefly, we can talk about that. So clinical psychologists, from the little I understand anyway, there are people who have been trained in therapeutic skills, and they can work in community or they can work in the hospital, and they usually help people whatever issues they may be going through at the moment. So that can be like trauma related. So this is mental trauma now, or like PTSD and things like that, or even neurodevelopmental variances or neurodivergence as well, and they really help teach them coping mechanisms to basically be the best version of themselves.
So what do you do day to day?
So the bits I'm around is mainly with the physical health stuff, because with psychiatry, a lot of them, they become so specialized in the mind and all of that, they sort of forget the physical aspects of it. So I mainly do with the physical issues. So if anybody has any problems physically, I sort that out. If they need any bloods, I sort that out. If they need any ECGs, I sort that out.
Any what, sorry?
Or like scans of their heart.
ECGs?
Yeah, scans of their heart.
Heart stuff. Okay.
I sort that out as well. Or if they have any other issues that related to their drugs, medications, so I sort that out. I try to find out a bit more information about it, get them to where they need to go as well. Because some of these medications that people will be on, they do have side effects. That's why a lot of the times, even with GPs, when people go to GP, they expect to get medication. But it's important to remember that whatever medication you're on, it can have a side effect, even simple paracetamol. So I mainly sort out if there are any side effects of the psychiatric medications that people may be on.
Okay, interesting. So I'm going to go and answer a couple of questions that are online. So is this Dr. Jacob?
Yeah,
is he a doctor as well?
It is.
Dr. Jacob asks, what motivates you to keep on working towards your goals?
Motivates me, I'll say the key thing is my family, my friends as well, the people around me, and also the fact that, I'll say my family and friends really, and not necessarily to keep working towards the goals, but the fact that I have the goals in the first place, that's also what's motivating me. Because I know a lot of people, or some people, they don't always know what it is that they want to do. I don't necessarily have like an end goal in mind, but...
I was just going to ask you that. What is the end goal, or what are the pointers up to a couple of the goals that you want to reach?
So the way I create my goals is sort of to work backwards. So I have an idea of the type of person I want to be, and then I create offshoots based on that, and that sort of informs my goals. So I don't know if that's answered your question, or would you like me to go deeper?
It has kind of. Okay, let me ask you in a different way. In the next 5 years, where would you say you want to be in terms of your career and the industry that you're in?
Okay. So for me, I'm at the moment, I'm quite interested actually, I'm doing different branches. So on the medical side, I'm quite interested in trauma and orthopedics at the moment, so stuff to do with the bones. So that's like a surgical specialty. So for that, I would like to go into like surgery. So the next 5 years, I would like to go through that pathway, do my surgical.
So you like bloody
exams.
stuff?
Yeah, no, I find it really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find it really interesting. I did one of my electives in Nigeria, and that one I saw some really bloody stuff. So
what's an elective?
Oh, so basically in medical school,
See how you're missing out key things?
Yeah, no, I am. It's because there's so much stuff that happened in medical school.
What happened in Nigeria?
So basically we have either 4, so mine was 4 weeks, some people have it longer. It's sort of like a secondment, so when you get to go to different parts of the world and you see how their medical schools or their medical systems work over there. So I was born in Nigeria and I spent a bit of my time there, so I wanted to really go back and just see what it's like. Yes, I was able to go to Nigeria for my elective. I was based at a hospital there.
What's the healthcare system like there?
Interesting. So not the best, I would say. Nigerian doctors, they really try with the little resources they have. They're very clinically adept.
Overworked?
Very overworked and underpaid as well. Like really, really bad. And you see a lot of crazy stuff as well because things don't work as well as they should. So even safety regulations aren't there. I was with the trauma and orthopedics team in Nigeria as well, and I got to see a lot of accidents that shouldn't have happened, but just because of like just carelessness or things like no traffic lights on the road. One of the worst accidents I saw, there were two young guys, they were hit by a bus, by a lorry. And just because there were no traffic lights on the road, there were no lights on the road, street lights. So
these are things you would get the call out to come in?
Yeah. So I was a registrar at the time. We're doing a night shift.
What's a registrar?
So that's so at the moment I'm a foundation doctor. So that's the first 2 years of medical school. And then the stage after that, that'll be registrar level before you become a consultant, which are like the big bosses.
Like Dr. Emma?
She's almost there. So Dr. Emma is like
No, Dr. Emma is.
She's a big boss. Oh, sorry, yeah. Yeah, she's a big boss, yeah. Yeah, no, definitely.
Sorry. Okay, interesting. Tell us some more about your stories in Nigeria.
Yeah,
that's very interesting.
No.
Kind of scary, actually, as well. Did you go there alone?
Oh, yeah, I did, yeah. But like most of my family are in Nigeria anyways. Only my immediate family and my uncles and his family that are in the UK, but the rest of my family are in Nigeria. So
that's really interesting.
There,
Niniola says, oh wow, most people never go back.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to go back. I wanted to experience it.
Are you happy you did that?
Yes, I am. Yeah, it's given me a lot to think about, even in regards to seeing health as not just the NHS, but seeing health on a global perspective, and how, because I studied in the UK, I could see what was needed in Nigeria, but I could also see what I could pick up from even the doctors in Nigeria to bring to here. Yeah.
Such as what? What did you pick up?
So because they don't have easy access to things like X-rays, CTs and stuff, so they really learn to be adept at their examinations. So physical examinations are things like when people come in. So for example, somebody had like a problem with their chest. When you use the stethoscope to look at their chest and things, there are certain things you should be able to pick up. But because in the UK, you get so comfortable that if there's an issue, you can just get an X-ray.
Yeah.
But in Nigeria, they might not necessarily be able to do that because you might not be able to get the X-ray that quickly. So their ears are very attuned to picking things up.
So, Doc, to me, it sounds like healthcare in Nigeria, there's, for example, I would think about creating like those machines or getting those machines from down there over there. It sounds like you can make money.
Yeah, oh no, there's money to be made.
In the healthcare industry.
There's money to be made. There are people making money.
Yeah.
There's money to be made. Same as in the UK.
They need X-ray systems.
Yeah. I mean, maybe later down the line.
Oh, we'll do it if you don't do it.
No, that's something they can do. That's something House of Medics can do.
Yeah.
No, definitely. I've definitely got some plans.
That's amazing.
To do stuff back there.
Okay.
But hopefully we'll see how life goes. But that's in the long-term goals. Yeah, I've got some plans.
So how long were you there for?
So I was there for 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah.
Okay, just working in the hospital?
So yes, for most of it, and then I spent the rest of the time seeing family in between. So yeah, it was really helpful.
Okay, thank you. Queen Aghoho, so apologies if I've got your name wrong, asks, would you consider, sorry, I'm trying my best to read it properly. Would you consider going back to Nigeria full time?
No.
Good question. No?
No.
Why?
Because I think I can have more impact doing half and half between the UK and Nigeria. Because once you get
Good answer.
caught up, yeah, hopefully, once you get caught up in the Nigerian system, your mindset also changes a bit.
How so?
You get used to the limitations rather than seeing things for what they could be. I was having a chat with one of the House of Medics team earlier, and he was telling me about what he does.
Is this Nana?
Yes. So Nana's in cybersecurity, and he was telling me about things that I never thought possible because I didn't know, and I was just thinking to myself that, but he was talking about it like it was normal.
Because that's what he's in, and that's his world.
Exactly. Yeah. But he was saying, the stuff I do is really cool, different. But because he's very, very used to it, he can see things way beyond I could even see because he already has a good foundation. And I think sometimes that's something that limits even me, but I found it to be a massive limiting factor in Nigeria, even amongst the doctors, because you don't know what you don't know, and there's certain things they wouldn't have seen, and I don't really want to be stuck there, and I think that's what would happen if I went back to Nigeria full time.
You think you have the opportunity to learn more here and be around more people that have knowledge that can basically help you grow and learn more and become better?
Yeah, but not less knowledge, in terms of access to things, access to resources, because Nigerian doctors, their knowledge is crazy, like way more.
Is it?
Yeah, crazy.
That's
but
very interesting.
access to resources is poor.
It's just not there.
Yeah.
But do they know that it's available elsewhere?
Yeah.
They're aware.
Some do. So right now there's something called the Japan Wave where people are trying to come to the UK to learn a bit more, or go to Canada and stuff
And then
like
go
that.
back.
Yeah. Well, some people are going back. Some people aren't. But yeah, because it's tough. It's tough. They're
but
really
well done
trying.
for going out there. I think.
Thank you.
I haven't ever spoken to anyone that said, they're going to keep going back and forth to kind of share knowledge and help them grow there in terms of medicine. So I think that's really, really good. I think you should carry on.
Yeah, hopefully my mind doesn't change.
No, you're good. If, like you said, you're going to speak to people down here that can help you grow, you then go back there and apply that knowledge. That's really good. Another question, what advice would you give to anyone considering going into medicine?
Work hard. Really, really, when people say usually getting into medicine is the hardest part. To get in, especially if you're the first one, working hard is really important. First advice. Second advice is to network, because with medicine, there's like a hidden curriculum. There are a lot of things, even in medical school itself, there's a hidden curriculum. Previously I said you don't know what you don't know. There are a lot of things with medicine, even getting to medical school, that you don't know. And that's...
Such as what? Can you give us an example?
So, for example, even with medical school interviews, there's a certain way they want you to phrase the answers, but there are certain ways they want you to say things. So, for example, if they asked, just a random example, if somebody asked me why was I interested in medicine, usually what people usually say randomly is just, I want to help people. But that's
I've had that.
That's the most common one, right?
Yeah.
But we all want to help people.
Yeah.
And in interviews,
it has to be like a passion thing.
Yeah, in interviews, everybody will say, I want to help people, I have a passion for it. But those the interview viewers, they've heard that so many times. So you have to say something that will help you and make you stand out. And the people who stand out, a lot of the times, they're the people who they've had families who are doctors. So they'll say, okay, you should say this way because it'll make you stand out. And it'll make you be a bit different. So even in regards to medicine, when a lot of people say, there are a lot of medics in medicine who were basically born into it, their families were in medicine. That's why it's less about they have some big knowledge that we don't know about, but it's more of they have access to those little tips and tricks that people like me, who had the background I had to sort of work a bit harder to get, basically.
So the advice you'd give is to just continue working hard?
Yeah. And also networking with people who are in medicine as well. So like people, we're in technology now, so there's Instagram, LinkedIn, people who are ahead of you and who are where you want to be, just connect with them.
Yeah. Lovely, thank you. And where did your interest in trauma and orthopedics come from?
Mainly, like, it sounds weird, but because of sport and PE. So,
Yes, you did say this, yeah.
When I was growing up, I used to do a lot of sports. I used to like running quite a lot, actually. I used to really like running, so athletics. So again, that's also why I was really happy when I got the Commonwealth Games stuff, because it was like
Big
full
deal.
circle.
Someone sent a question in. She has asked, how do you balance the things you do outside of medicine? So what do you do outside of medicine?
It depends where you want to start from. Medical stuff outside of medicine, or
Yes.
Okay, medical stuff outside of medicine. So I've mentioned the stuff I do at TAMS,
Yep.
the TAMS Scholars Program. I also am currently working with a society, well, not society, but organisation called the British Trauma Society.
Okay.
And
Nice.
we're working on an education program based around trauma, aimed at medical students, foundation year doctors, and also early registrars as well, where we've created and collated programs, lectures teaching them about the basics of trauma, and that can be found on the British Trauma Society website as well if you're a member. So that's an example of one of the teams. So I'm interested in teaching, which is something I'll talk about later if there's time. So that's one of my passions. Those are the medical stuff. Outside medicine, I'd mentioned the music stuff and the singing.
Oh, you just reminded me.
I should have said that.
Okay, don't worry.
I should have said that,
No
but I'm
problem,
interested in music quite a lot. And how do I balance it, right? That was the main question.
Yes.
Balancing it is setting strict time limits and time goals. I'm not always the best at it, but just having time that, okay, I'm going to set this time and dedicate this time to do this
Do you have
role.
any particular like certain hobbies that you're like, nope, I'm going to take out an hour or at this time of the morning to do this certain thing?
Mine used to be the gym. Well, I mean, it sort of still is. It's been a bit tough recently because I've been transitioning to like a new stage of life, new role and stuff. So I've just been trying to shape up my timetable to be a bit better. But after getting there, but it still is. I used to be the gym. Like, I need to make sure I go at this particular time. If I can't, then I'll work something around. And then not like hobby per se, but things that are important to me is church. So like I'm a church boy. I grew up in church. So that's something I try to keep strict. Like, okay, Sunday, this is,
It's the day for church.
stay for church.
How do you stay focused?
Focused. This is a tough one.
Sorry.
no, it's helpful. I would say having a goal and having like the previous question, having a goal in mind and having a vision that, okay.
But how do you stay focused on the goal?
How do I stay focused on the goal? Delayed gratification.
Delayed gratification?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So a temporary sacrifice for a long-term gain. So same with medical school. Medical school was a tough period. With many positives, but there would be long-term gain. I haven't necessarily seen long-term gain yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
No, you're a doctor.
Yeah.
That's nuts, Like you, all of you in medicine, that's crazy. By the way, like.
Thank you.
Very good.
Again, but that point you made is also quite interesting because, like I mentioned before, even with the example of Nana, I think when you're in it, you sort of forget, and it's sort of like
actually a doctor. Like you
yeah,
can
no,
say,
it's crazy.
Hi, I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Very big achievement.
No, it's
you
crazy.
should be very, very proud.
No, thank you.
I don't think anyone can downplay or minimize someone who has done 6 years in medical school. That's crazy.
It flew by, but thank you.
That's nuts. So yeah,
Thank
amazing.
you.
A couple more questions online. Would you consider charity work in Nigeria?
Oh yes, actually, that's one of my future goals. Actually, to really set up something there, something of impact in Nigeria. And that's also why I don't want to stay in Nigeria full time, because I think to do that to the best ability,
You can't be there.
It will require me to have knowledge from here.
Exactly.
I don't want not disparaging Nigerian system and structure, but I want something to be excellent to the greatest possible standard that I can. And from what I've seen in terms of the excellence I aspire is I've learned it from here, and I sort of want to take what I've learned and also mix it with my cultural upbringing and the culture in Nigeria to really get something to be the best possible.
Love that. Really, really good question. I'm going to answer these last two. How do you deal with failure?
How do I deal with failure? So one thing about medicine, before we go into that, it teaches you a lot of failure.
Yeah, but you're constantly learning, aren't you?
Yeah.
And then you have to do, is it one exam a year?
Yeah, well, more than one. More than
you
one.
guys are good, man.
At my medical school, we had quite a few exams in the year, and they won't always go the way you want. That's the thing. Or sometimes they'll be close to not going the way you want. But failure, again, support network is very, very important. Once you go through that period of failure, it can be tough, but again, it is a thing of knowing what you stand for, knowing who your people are, and reminding yourself what your goals are and what you know about yourself and what you know you've heard as well about where you need to be and where you have to get to. It's not an option to just fall at the first hurdle or second hurdle or third hurdle. You just have to keep pushing. Again, even when you forget, the people around you will help you and remind you of that as well.
Yeah, lovely, thank you. And the last question, what are some things you feel aspiring medics should know about a career in medicine?
About a career in medicine, it's really fun. Really, really fun.
Is it?
Yeah, no, I really enjoy it.
But don't you see like poo and stuff every day?
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know, just tune that part of your mind. Wow. But no, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, and it also depends where you are as well. And the most part, medicine can open a lot of doors, and that's what I'm still learning now, and I'm still seeing how much more there is. Because even if you don't want to do clinical medicine, there's a lot more beyond clinical medicine. Even if you're somebody who's interested in tech, like me personally, I have a lot of interest. If you have a lot of interest, you can mold that to be the type of doctor you want to be. There's not like a set doctor. Unfortunately, from what I've seen anyway, we are only taught about the traditional routes and traditional pathways into medicine.
But things are changing.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think the people in House of Medics are also an example of that as well, from what I've been knowing and what I've been talking to them about. And I really think she even have some of the guys on this seat as well, because they're doing some really interesting stuff that I personally would like to know a bit more about too. Well, yeah.
Amazing. Well, really looking forward to seeing what you're gonna do and become and be very, very effective and life-changing for people in Nigeria as well. So let's get into the singing part now,
it's too late.
And then we're gonna round up.
It's too late. Time's already gone.
No, sir. How?
Time's already gone. It's late.
What time? So you don't want to do a quick? Your fans have asked, so it's not. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But the people
I'll just leave it here.
Yeah.
If people want to see me sing, I'll just say just go on Semilore _M.
But you have to tell them how to spell it. It should be on the screen.
So it's just the later aspects of my name. So just S for sugar, E for echo, M for Mike, I for indigo, L for lorry, O for orange, R for Romeo, E for echo, _M.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much. We'll be having a look on there after to see if you can actually hold it up. So thank you so much, guys,
thank you for
staying with us, and you've been absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much.
Do you want to tell everybody your Instagram, or was that your Instagram, or was that your music Instagram?
No, that's my music Instagram.
Okay, so do you want to tell everyone your Instagram?
My actual Instagram is similar to that one. Okay. So it's just Semilore _MD. So it's just my name _MD.
Lovely. And thank you so much for spending your evening with us. On Instagram, you can find us at We Are House of Medics. Twitter, We Are House of Medics, TikTok, We Are House of Medics. LinkedIn, House of Medics. And if you want to join our Telegram group, you can find the code on any of our social media platforms. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. And yeah, we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you for having me. Bye, guys.
Thanks.